Yo, guys, what's going on? LuckyRave is back again to give you guys my live stream discussion slash review on Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, chapter 170. And listen, I know the chapter came out yesterday. I'm well aware of that. And in fact, I was actually ready to talk about yesterday's chapter. I really was. But then I started thinking more and more on it. And I was like, I need to let my thoughts simmer. Like, I really got to let my thoughts simmer for this chapter. And then, like give it a whole day. And then come tomorrow morning, we do the stream. And honestly, I'm actually kind of glad I did that because it did give me time to, like, actually sit and process the chapter and, like, really think about what we're going to get. Because there's some things we have to talk about here. Well, there are definitely some things we need to talk about with 100 Years Quest. But let's just go ahead and dive right into it again. Let's just go ahead and dive right into 170, which is titled Your Name Shows Who You Are. And you get this nice, beautiful cover spread. It's not color spread, but it's like a cover page of Lucy, like looking out into the stars with the telescope. That's pretty cool. Also, Happy's there in the background too. Anyway, the actual chapter itself starts here with Natsu beating I'm sorry, Brian, because Brain was already a case. Hey, where's Ignia? Didn't I tell you? Rumbly tummy, rumbly tongue. He went to where the Black Wizard Faris is. And where is that? That's Natsu asking Brian. And Brian says, I don't know. Shoot. And then he looks over and he's just like, oh, yeah, they're still happy. To which, you see what's going on here. You see the volcanoes in the background. Like, they're all steaming and everything with, like, lava. Not like a lot, but you could tell, yeah, there's some lava spewing with some smoke rather from the tip. At least with some of them. There's a couple that are still kind of dormant, but if I had to take a guess, they are probably gonna actually, now that I look at it, there's five of them. Yeah, look here. One, two, three, four. Yeah, there's five. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, so there's five of the volcano tips are like steaming out with smoke, right? Ash, if you will. Five dragon gods. Uh, just an attention to detail that I noticed. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe that probably wasn't intentional on Hiro and Ueda's part, but I was like, interesting how it's only five of them and not the other ones too. Anyway, Happy's knocked out. You see Misfortune. Happy asks, "What are you doing, Misfortune?" And Misfortune's like, in like shadow voice, "What I had, okay, not what I had to, what I have to. We're enemies. My destiny is to fight you, Happy." Whoa, you can breathe fire? That's what Happy asks. We're not enemies. We're both exceed. And Misfortune says, I'm a fire cat. I only bring misfortune. It's right there in my name. I've burned down every home I've had. No matter where I go, I start fires. And you see Happy just thinking about it. Misfortune reflects on what happened too. When a nice old guy tried to pick me up, I burned him. I'm a fire cat, bringing misfortune everywhere I go. But Ignia took me in. No matter how much I burn, everyone's a fire wizard here, so it's okay. And then Happy says the obvious thing. Natsu's a fire wizard too, and I'm with him all the way, which kind of opens up Misfortune's eyes. So why not a fire cat too? And Misfortune goes on to say, because I can't even touch anyone with this body of mine. I'm a cat of misfortune with the body of misfortune. It's the very embodiment of misfortune. And as soon as this happens, okay, Happy walks on over. being like a real clutch, by the way, like holds Misfortune's hand and says, "I can touch you." Happy, you'll get burned, and Happy goes on to say, "You're not Misfortune. You're Misfortune." That's actually a pretty. That was a good play on words here because you have the whole word misfortune, and then you have Happy saying, "No, you're not misfortune. You're misfortune." So kind of cool, actually, that you kind of get that play on words there. And Misfortune starts to get all teary eyed. She's like, "I'm burning you, Happy," and he's like, "It's fine. I'm used to it from Natsu. Ignia's gonna kill all the humans. That's the real misfortune there." And Misfortune's like, "Yeah." And Happy says, "Help us instead." "Okay, Happy E." And then Natsu runs over saying, "Happy." And he's like, Natsu, what do you think you're doing?" I love this part because honestly, Natsu just had to came in and ruin the moment. Oh my god. This was gold, okay? "What do you think you're doing to Happy, you jerk?" If anything, I could totally see this being like a meme of sorts. Like, just imagine someone out there like takes this panel and says, "Nope, sorry, Happy only belongs to Carl." It's a thought that came into my head, but still, not to. I mean, I get it. From his perspective, Misfortune was about to do some shit to Happy. So obviously, getting this part isn't like a huge shock, if you will. You know? And give me just 1 second, guys. I'm getting a phone call. I haven't had one of those in a while. Oh, haven't had one of those in a while. I mean, better it happen now than later, you know? Better happen now. But anyway, moving on. Happy, you see his reaction, you see Misfortune's reaction. Natsu's like, "Hmm?" And then this is what I was saying, okay? Because from something I mentioned last week is that the volume's not done, okay? This current volume we're on, which is 19, it ain't done. Like 18's done, definitely. But like 19? Like, this is the penultimate chapter to volume 19. So, given that I kind of had a feeling that maybe, just maybe, there's a good chance that we're probably going to get a little bit more stuff with Lucy, Aquarius, and Brandish. Like, I didn't see this being a case where Hero, you know, doesn't get back to us on Lucy, Brandish, and Aquarius for like, say, a few weeks. I didn't see that. I kind of saw this. I was like, okay, since the volume is slowly coming to a close, I do think we're going to get something within either this chapter or 171. And we're getting the answers right here. So we see the City of Hermina, we see Aquarius, and she's like, "Geez, you two, I'll let you share my key as a special favor then." And Brandish is like, "Share?" Lucy asks, like, "You can do that?" Just like before, "You can summon me on Wednesdays and Thursdays, Lucy. Brandish, you get Tuesdays. Don't summon me on any other days. If you interrupt..." Again, it's like we never left. It's like we never freaking left with this. "Don't you dare summon me on any other days. If you interrupt me while I'm on my date, I'll kill you." Lucy's like, back to old times, huh?" And then Brandish just lays it out flat. She says, "I actually don't want your key." Excuse me?" You don't want my priceless golden celestial spirit key? And Brandish is like, I'm sorry, but you came all the way to Giltina to find her key. That's what Lucy is telling Brandish, because if you remember when we got to the Water Dragon God arc and Brandish showed up, she did mention to Lucy that, hey, I'm here searching for Aquarius' key. And this is what she says, and it's kind of cool that we now kind of circle back on this. I found it. I'd say my goal is complete, and I'm not a celestial spirit. And Lucy's just kind of shocked by that. With Aquarius just saying, "Oh, just come out and say it. You were looking for my key so you could give it to Lucy, right?" And Lucy's just like, "Huh?" And Brandish is not wanting to like admit anything. Like, no, that's primarily not what I wanted to do. But then she just turns around and says, "Well, you see how it is. I'm going home." And Lucy's like, "Wait, Brandish." And Brandish is like, "No, don't want to hassle." And Lucy just says, "Thanks." To which Brandish says, "See ya." Aquarius is smiling. She puts her arm around Lucy. "So we're back together again, Lucy." "Yeah, welcome home, Aquarius." And I'm going to be real here. This part here, reading this, I was like, dude, this is so heartfelt. This is so touching. Like, listen, it had been over 10 years, at least, over 10 years since Aquarius' key broke. Now we finally get the reunion, and it is wonderful, right? And it's still bad. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. Because when Lucy says, "Yeah, welcome home," then you get to not the next page. Well, actually, it kind of starts at the next page, but like the next couple pages. But you see, you see, Suijin Mercphobia. He's just like super happy, nodding his head. And dude, Caramel is not pleased whatsoever. She's like, "I want to know the details. Like, what was the bond between you and Aquarius? Like, I need to know, Merc, right here, right now. Like, I'm the only girl who's ever been here for you. So tell me right now." She also doesn't say that, but you can tell from her expression. Yeah, she's a bit jelly in that sense. You know, it's one of those things. But anyway, Lucy then says this: "I thought I'd be crying my eyes out when I was reunited with Aquarius, but having her there felt like such a matter of course that I mostly just felt relieved." Of course, this next page really says so much, and it got my gears turning. Because what was initially super heartfelt and like so like not melancholy, but like again, just hit the feels, right? This part here really started shifting in a very ominous direction because Lucy says this: "Of course, it hadn't really sunk in yet. If I had known then what was to come, would I have been more emotional?" The fact that Lucy says this has me just wondering, like what? I'm like, obviously, I'll say this: I don't think this is gonna be a case because initially, like the first thought I had was something bad's gonna happen between Lucy and Aquarius once again. That was like my initial thought, and then I kind of thought, what if it's just with Lucy in particular? Like the fact that she says, "If I had known then what was to come, would I have been more emotional?" But see, that part there kind of says something too. Would I have been more emotional? So obviously, it's something related to not Brandish. It's something related to Aquarius. Something. We don't know what it is, but keeping in mind that Hero did say that this was going to be a more serious arc, and again, last time we had a super serious arc was Tartarus. So I'm not gonna say that we're gonna get like something. We're gonna get like a death, if you will. But I'ma just say, like, keep your eyes out for this one, okay? Like, this is something we gotta just like be peeled towards and just seeing. Okay, like what is it that's gonna happen? Because Lucy says, If I had known what was to come," like that's obviously implying that something ominous is about to happen. And I'm thinking either two things. Okay, I again, it's gonna be related to Aquarius in some way or fashion. But I'm thinking maybe Natsu gets involved somehow. Maybe END. Maybe I'm just thinking because we know the last time Natsu went into END state, even though it was like very partial, right? Natsu lost all sense of control. So is it too much of a stretch to say that maybe that's what happens? Or is it something related to Ignia? Oh my god. Dude, if Ignia does something to Aquarius, shoot. Like, those are the two things I could think of. Something involving Aquarius, and Lucy think, would I have been more emotional if I'd known what was to come? Something happens, okay? Something definitely happens, and we don't know what it is, but that's something we gotta look out for. 100%. Then we cut back over to actually we don't cut back over, but then we move over to the ruins of Drazel, a giant lacrima. This must be it. But I don't see Alderon, that giant dragon god. And then Urza senses something. And she like looks over, she's like, what is this I sense? And the only thing for this one next panel, you see like silhouettes, 6 of them. But as soon as I saw the 6 silhouettes, like I already knew who we were getting. We were getting the Orashion sex. Okay, that's who we're popping up. Urza looks over, and you see each of the members, and they're like, "Fairy tale found you." And like that's where we end off the chapter. Now, I've already seen some people mention this, not necessarily in the stream, but I've seen a couple people talk about this, like in like forums and whatnot. And some people are worried that like, yo, is Urza about to like one shot the Orashion sex, like the new demons from the Book of Faris? In my opinion, no. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. If anything, I think Urza will try to do what she can to take them on, but what I think is ultimately going to happen is Urza's going to get bested. That's what I think is going to happen. She's going to get bested to a degree that very similar to Tartarus, where she took on Kyoka. She was like knocked out for a while. I think we're going to get a situation like that here with Urza, and it's going to be interesting. It's honestly going to be. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen because I'll say this: in terms of 100 Years Quest, when it comes to Urza, her fights have been really great. Okay, like there hasn't been a lot of like the over the top aspect with Urza that we've seen from the original series, right? So I don't see this be going in that direction at all. Like I said, well, I do think we're gonna be in a position to where um what do you call it? She's gonna be in a position to where she's gonna try to do what she can, but I think she is gonna lose. That's what I do see happening. There will be a comeback side for Urza for sure, but I do think right here, right now, against the 6 of them, all 6 in like one setting, yeah, no, again against. Keep in mind, demons from the Book of Faris, Earthland Faris. Earthland Faris just showed up. These guys are not going to get taken out that quickly. Obviously, not in the slightest. But I do think 100% this is going to set up some sort of adversary for Urza to take on. One of them, at the very least. Not sure who. I mean, could it be Zero? It could be, but I don't know. Zero seems more like Natsu's opponent. And the chick with the horns, to me, she screams Lucy. That seems more like Lucy's opponent. Maybe the guy in the back, the one who kind of looks very similar to the Thing from Fantastic Four. Maybe it's him, but right now, again, as far as a conclusion to the penultimate chapter of Volume 19, this was really good. Okay, I'll even go as far as say amazing plus. Like this was truly an amazing plus chapter for Fairy Tail 100's quest. The only gripe, only little gripe I have, is that I do wish we got to see just very briefly what was going on with Gray, what was going on with Wendy, like what's going on there. Like it was cool that we got Natsu, obviously. It was cool that we got Lucy, very very much so for Lucy, and it was cool that we finally know where Urza is. But it would be nice to see what's going on with the others too. I think with Wendy we did find out, right? Let me go back. We found out for Wendy's like a little while ago. I want to say it was like 160, not 66. It was either, yeah, no, 165, I believe is what it was. Yeah, 165. That's where we find out. So let's see here. Oh, so yeah, the chick with the horns. Damon, that's her name. So yeah, there's Blade, Bird, uh Gaia. Okay, yeah, so Gaia, Damon, Bird, Blade, Gate, and then there's obviously Zero. And like I said, I think for Zero, it's got to be Natsu. Natsu's got to be the one that takes on Zero, 110%. But as far as this goes, for 100 Years Quest, just to see where everyone is at. So let's see. Lucy's here. Do we find out for sure where everyone else is? Like, obviously, Natsu's at Ignia's palace. We know that. But everybody else, I don't think we know for sure. At the very least, we don't know where Wendy is. Like, I feel like we did, but I don't know. It'll come back to me when it does. But overall, like I said before, this chapter of Fairy Tail 100's Quest, the reunion between, like, the long-awaited reunion we've all been waiting for between Lucy and Aquarius. Beautiful, super heartfelt, but those 2 pages gave it that ominous feel, that ominous tone, and I'm like, Hero, don't. Hero's known for breaking hearts, okay? I think we can all agree on that. Hero is very much known for breaking hearts in his storytelling, okay? He's done that. Rave Master, 100% he's done that. Fairy Tail, obviously tapping in speed. Definitely tapping in Eden Zero, and no one's going to argue with me on that. But, oh my god. Like, I really am, like, super, super curious to know where we're going to go. And, again, what do I think is going to happen next chapter? We're going to get the confrontation, obviously, between Urza and the Eretion Saints. I do think we're going to get that. Like I said, I don't think Urza's going to win. If anything, I think she's going to lose. There's a chance we probably could also cut to see what's happening with Wendy, what's happening with Gray. I think that's definitely a possibility too. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think Wendy is probably in Drazel. I think. Let me see. I'm gonna look back from this because I am curious. So let's see. Magia Dragon. Okay, no. So we don't know where Wendy is. Yeah, no. Okay, so Wendy and Gray right now are still just kind of unknown. We don't know where they are at. But this is going to be interesting. This is going to be fascinating to see with where they're going to be. But like I said, guys, overall, this chapter is an amazing plus. Let me know what you guys' thoughts were when it came to this chapter of Fairy Tail 100's Quest. Again, 170. What was your favorite part about it? You guys have any gripes with the chapter? How do you guys feel about the ominous atmosphere with the last narration from Lucy? And aside from that, guys, that's from Rich. I'm LuckyRave. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more fairy tale content, Hero Mashima content, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Laters.